Hey, welcome in, guys. It's time to start Bollox Talks and Tangents. Lenny, you got a chip hanging from your shirt. we were a little frantic. I was disrobing right as we went on air, and everybody's a little chaos. We have a special guest in our parlor. We have Maeve in our parlor over there. Maeve's eating her dinner and giggling along with us and doing some amazing artwork off screen. But today we're talking about Peaks and Pits. Peaks and Pits of 2024.
It's our review show.
I almost said 2004. You know you're getting old when you go back 20 years and act like it's yesterday. So,
if I can remember.
Yeah. So, and I saw something like 2024 is to like 1984. You know what? Something in the 20s or something is like 1980 is to something in the 20s. I was like, oh, that really hit home.
Yeah.
So those things I try not to read that often.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, it's time to get started. If you guys are out there, if you would hit that share button, help us out a little bit and get us going. We have our special guest, so we have at least one watcher.
There you go.
So she's the cutest one we got. And we got Blake in the studio back there. Say hello, Blake.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Blake.
So he's like
Topo Gigio.
Yeah.
Eddie. I love you, Eddie.
All right. But first thing I guess we got to talk about, I went with a little ode to one of our sponsors at Meehan's.
There you go.
So we're going with Jameson tonight as our whiskey of the week. And let's talk about Meehan's. I mean, just they have the place lit up like it's amazing. Yep. It's beautiful. They have 3 bars in one. Reggie and his staff are incredible. They're hustling this week. It's Hell Week
my
downtown.
Goodness, yeah. Talked to my pal Caleb when we were in there because Julie and I celebrated our 9th Christmas Eve in a row in Meehan's.
Gotcha.
That's our plan every year. Christmas Eve in Meehan's up in Johnny's Oyster Bar. Mm-hmm. And, when I saw Caleb, he said, "Hi, love you. Here's a hug. I'm getting my booty kicked. Got to go."
Yeah.
They were working.
They were in the weeds.
They were working.
Everybody's in the weeds downtown right now.
Yep.
I went out downtown, went to Teeny last night. A lot of places were closed. Meehan's was closed last night for Christmas. And,
good job, Reg.
Have you made it to the Saint yet?
No.
Okay.
No.
Beautiful, beautiful place. They did an amazing job. Congratulations to Jeff and Bob and the entire staff there. Just a beautiful, beautiful restaurant. The things I've tried, all of them have been amazing. Looking forward to having a full meal there. All I've done is so far I've done the tasting and the appetizers. So it's you're gonna have to bring a little bit of bank.
Hanukkah gelt.
Yeah, a little bit of bank with you. But I mean, it's you've had restaurants and you know a good meal when it's a good meal you don't mind paying.
It's just I'm gonna have to wrap my head around $119 veal chop. Because it wasn't for 2. But there's a couple of inventive dishes on the menu. I looked at the menu and there's some nice looking stuff on there. The pappardelle with the short rib ragu looks really pretty great. Mm-hmm. And they did a chicken parmesan, I want to say salt and buca, that looks fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous. So I'm excited about a couple of dishes on the menu. And I think, I've said this about River and Fort, the build-outs are magnificent.
Yeah, you got it. And, these restaurants, for that ambiance, you do have to do a little makeup on the payment side.
Yeah.
So, like I said, the experience is great. And, as long as and they might be a future sponsor. So we're going to talk really nice about them.
Absolutely, because they got great views, too.
Because they're on sponsor row, so we need to bring them into the mix.
And they've got 2 or 3 porches that you get bayfront views. They've got a beautiful courtyard. So if you're bringing your dog we're treating them like a sponsor already.
Yeah.
If you bring your pet with you, you can do it out in the courtyard, just not in the building. But the courtyard is big and spacious as well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting there. There's a couple of really nice looking things.
Trees in that courtyard. Yeah. They probably have $80,000 worth of palm
landscaping.
Trees. Yeah. The landscaping total is well over 100.
Nice. So, I absolutely admire how these men, this restaurant group does their build outs. Mm-hmm. I think River and Fort is one of the best best put together places I've ever been in, and I built 3 restaurants from the ground up. So it's really impressive.
All right, let's stay with the restaurants, and let's go with Kaiser's Deli and Market. Our guy Kaiser, just proud of him. I mean, he's been open over a year now, right?
Going on 2.
Going on 2.
At least, if not more than.
And
more than 2.
It was such a long road for him to get it open. And it's good to see. I mean, he's still having to bust his hump and still work it and shuffle. But you guys need to make it over to Kaiser's. If you haven't made it there, get over there and try the Bollox. We have a sandwich here.
Exactly.
So,
and I'll tell you this. I can eat. I really can. But more times than not, I take the other half of my sandwich home because they're so big. It's just, they're satisfying, they're delicious, they're fresh. But sometimes it's lunch and dinner.
Yeah, no, I have them cut it in half just so I can do that, and it's just absolutely amazing. All right, St. Augustine Distillery.
Just one more thought on that. For those of you scoring at home, if you're having a New Year's Eve party, even if you're just going to be staying home by yourself, you can get some sandwiches to take home for New Year's Eve, but also Julia makes a magnificent charcuterie platter. If you're having company over and you want to entertain and you want to do it right, their charcuterie boards are some of the best in the city, bar none.
All right. St. Augustine Distillery and City Gate Spirits they've had an amazing year. Award-winning year for them. They keep coming up with new flavors at City Gates. The distillery released a new rum this year that is phenomenal.
Yeah.
The Saints doing great. Oh, maybe you can come over here if you want to come over here and we can talk about our trip. Maeve asked if we could talk about our trip to Spain.
Ooh.
So, so Maeve, did you enjoy Spain? She's like, I'm getting a strong head nod from Maeve. You can't see her on air. I wanted her to come on air, but she's being bashful right now. Which
could be a celebrity.
Yeah, which is not like my girl. So, but we had a lot of fun in Spain.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Maeve got to go ice skating for the very first time.
In Spain?
Nope. At Rockefeller Center.
Very nice. I've done that. Absolutely.
Yeah, but your first time?
No.
Ever ice skating?
No, my first time was double blades at the outdoor rink in Long Beach.
Yeah, well,
with my mother.
She had a penguin assist.
Ah, okay.
So it's a little penguin with little skis, and she was able to hold on to. And,
nice.
She was able to get around with her penguin assist.
And was that under the big giant Christmas tree? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty cool.
That's one of the most famous Christmas trees in the world.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So we had a fun time for sure. All right. Abare, Kresge and Associates, these guys, end of the year, it's time to start putting your taxes together. You don't want to do it yourself. You want these guys to save you as much money as you can. Give them a call at Abare, Kresge and Associates. All right, St. Augustine Pirate Museum. This museum's one of our favorites. We go there quite a bit. We like setting off the cannons, don't we? Yeah.
I want to go there again.
We're going to go there again. Maeve said she wants to go there again. So that's a testimonial right there, right out of the mouth of a 5-year-old. And they just do a great job at Colonial Oak. And they're doing a night market there right now. I think it goes to the end of the year. And also they're the Taberna Bar and Bull and Crown. So last but definitely not least, Coquina Coast Realty. It looks like interest rates are moving in the right direction. Might be a good time to look at either buying a second home or buying that first home if you haven't done it yet. Give me a call at 904-669-7901. All right, word origins.
Got one?
You got one?
I do.
All right, let's go. What you got?
I got First Night.
Okay.
First Night was something that a woman by the name of Clara Wainwright created in Boston in 1975, and it was to celebrate New Year's Eve to avoid the emphasis on alcohol. And it caught on for a while, for quite some, well, not so much anymore, but it caught on for quite some time. By the year 2000, there were 260 cities participating in this. At one point in time, by 2006, which is sort of as it was winnowing out, there were over 1 million people participating in Boston alone for First Night.
Oh, okay.
But then they ran into some circumstances outside their control. 9/11 had people and cities rethinking mass gatherings in public spaces right after 2011. In September 2011, people became a little bit more cognizant of the allure to nefariousness in large mass gatherings. So that winnowed out a whole bunch of things. And then 2020, you hit COVID. And that, was the final nail in the coffin, so to speak, for a lot of these things, because people were, even outdoors, weren't gathering together in large groups. And then they hit a bunch of financial issues. So there's still some percolating around. I know we did one in Long Beach for 2 or 3 years. And it's just an alcohol-free event for New Year's, and to try to take the celebration away from the over-drinking.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and it was a worthy cause for a while.
Yep.
It may come back.
It makes sense. All right, mine's Father Time, because we're coming at the end of the year and everybody talks about the new year and stuff like that. But mine's Father Time, and Father's Time's image became popular in the late 19th century, early 20th century, appearing in magazines and postcards. And his image came from the Roman god Saturn,
Okay.
the god of time, and some of the other things. The Grim Reaper eventually became a companion with Father Time.
Right. Yeah.
And his personification of death.
Yep, with the scythe.
And Father Time also have snakes with its tail in its mouth. Okay?
There's a name for that, which
It's
I
an
always
ancient
forget.
Egyptian symbol
Yeah.
of an eternity.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm not familiar with that one.
There's a name for that, and I never remember what it is. And it's iconography that a lot of people use for a number of things. Maybe we'll do that for next week.
Yeah, but
Okay.
Father Time goes back to Roman and actually Greek. They talk about Father Time and taking away life and that. So that's where the term actually comes from.
So in the original, it wasn't followed by a little bouncing baby in diapers with a sash that says the current year on it.
That's Baby New Year.
Yeah, okay.
That's Baby New Year. So, and I almost did Baby New Year,
Right.
different history altogether, but it was kind of jumbled all together. And,
Well, we got a
and it
show
all
next week.
And it all comes down to like different magazine ads and things like that. So,
Commercialization, it's everywhere.
all right, peaks and pits. Which one do we want to start with in the New Year, or should we let our parlor guests
Sure.
choose which one? Maybe should we start with the peaks, or should we start with the pits?
Peak.
The
Okay.
peaks. That's all. I love staying positive.
Okay.
So peaks of 2024. Blake, would you like to give your peak of 2024, or do you have anything yet?
I'll probably. My personal just like overall peak for my
Yeah.
for, like personally for myself, or
Yeah, for you personally.
I'll probably say the format games. Like that was a really great event to work in.
Yeah, and you guys did an amazing job. And here's the thing people don't know. Like, Blake was doing the scoring,
Yeah.
and it was kind of made up on the spot, and they had no arguments about it.
Right.
And we're not talking about something. I mean, the winners won like $5,000.
Yeah.
Like that. And
Nice.
the fact that no one even argued the points
Right.
was a major accomplishment. And
We at least had a day.
you had a format.
Yeah, because funnily enough, because I remember, like, I think there was like one person that made like a YouTube video was like, oh, they had a scoring system, but I didn't know what the scoring system was. Little bit of a secret. The format was based off the Mario Kart points system, but it was also a reference to Pete's liking of Mario Kart.
It completely makes sense. All right, so your peak.
Deion Sanders, Coach Prime.
Okay.
I think what that man has done with Colorado and what he has done for the young men on that team is exemplary.
Yeah.
I mean, he has built.
Did you watch the documentary?
I have not yet. No.
Okay, it is good.
I mean, first of all, the man was an amazing athlete, and he was an amazing promoter. I was at a Monday night football game when he was on Dallas playing the New York Giants. I went with my friend Adam Langbart, and in that game, he returned a punt for a touchdown and an interception for a touchdown. So there's no question the man's athletic ability.
Yeah.
But he has since grown into a humanitarian, a motivator. I think the world of what he's doing. He takes these young men, he teaches them about responsibility, maturity. Life is not only a football game.
And if you do I was a big Deion fan, and even though I was a University of Miami guy.
Right.
But
He was Florida State, yes?
yeah, he was Florida State. And I played against him in baseball. So he was center fielder for Florida State. He's the exact same age as me.
Okay.
So, so when I was at Seminole Community College, we played at Florida State up at their stadium, and he was their center fielder. And just ridiculous athlete. I don't remember him doing anything in the game special, but later on I was like, oh, okay, yeah, he was in the lineup.
Right.
Matter of fact, I think he led off and I led off for our team. So that's the only thing I've ever shared with Deion. Besides that, his athletic ability. The only difference between his athletic ability and mine is he has some.
Right.
So that's the point. But I've always been a huge Deion fan, and Deion's a guy, and I don't think a lot of people realize this. He suffered from depression and mental illness throughout his career and throughout his life. At one point, he drove off a cliff to try and commit suicide. And when he tells that story and the battle that he had in coming back, and he's talking about, I'm not an overly religious man, but you can tell when people are true to that and not using it as a crutch. Deion's true to that.
No.
I believe he's true to that, and I believe he knows that his life was saved for a reason, because what happened with him and him driving off that cliff, he's not supposed to be here unless there is a reason. And I believe in karma and those things, but I believe he's now found a reason of how he can help these kids. And I think his what he's done with the NIL and some of those things in kids he's become a magnet. I just hope he stays in college.
Yeah.
And I think he can make a better impact on the world if he does.
With those young men, absolutely.
But I'm afraid if his son gets drafted by a particular team and that team needs a coach, there might be a new dynamic there that becomes an NFL guy. So I think what he's teaching these kids is amazing, and I agree. He would make my top 10 if I had people of the year.
People of the year, yeah.
He would make my top 10 easily.
Well, he mentored the Heisman Trophy winner, who was a phenomenal athlete in his own and will be in the top 3 or 4 picks
Two-way
regardless.
player, just like he was.
Yep. And I saw something today that he had taken the jersey away from one of the players on his team because the kid wasn't making grades. And the only way the kid got it back was by making his grades. Yeah. Well, they had a ceremony with the team and his teammates, and he gave the guy his jersey back, and before he did, he said, "What are your grades now?" And they're all B's and A's.
It's good.
And, he motivated, he cajoled, he encouraged. So I think what he's doing for these young men, and he has them take responsibility. He wants them to be productive members of society. He realizes that they're all not going to make the pros. Obviously, his sons will, and
more
Travis
roles
Hunter.
than will.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think he is really doing something very good with these kids, and it's impressive. It really is.
Yeah. So and my peak for the year is and it's a little more personal. We got to go traveling and stuff like that. But every once in a while, I'm a guy who has several jobs, and my brain really doesn't shut off a whole lot in a lot of different ways. I got to get my peak to the trip to Anegada. We had a great trip to Vegas, and you've had some great trips to Vegas.
3 times this year, going in April.
But my trip to Anegada, riding around on a little scooter on an island that only has 200 people on it, and just pulling up, going for a swim over the largest reef in the Caribbean, and have an amazing lobster that was caught that day. Like, you have to put your order in the morning, so they go out and catch it.
Find it for you. Yeah.
They go out and catch it and then bring it back. I believe that probably was my peak of just being able to take a breath. And I work with some great people and here with you guys. And, I'm very fortunate. I don't like to say I'm lucky or anything like that, but I am fortunate for the people that surround me. And I think having that in the support system within this studio, within my life, and within all my workplace, it's good. 24 was a good year.
And you know what? You acknowledge that, you appreciate it, you don't take it for granted, you recognize that you have a very good life. And I think it's important because I think...
Right. There you go. Hand it to Lenny.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people that have fortunate lives or are lucky or, circumstance treats them well. And I think they just don't necessarily realize it or acknowledge it. And I like to do that myself. I like to stop and say, okay, this is something that you really just have to stop and say, I'm a lucky person, or I'm a fortunate person, or as the term goes, maybe I'm blessed. But whatever it is, realize it and don't take it for granted. That's the whole thing.
100%. And we took some family pictures about 3 weeks ago, and I was looking at them, and I was like, all of us are healthy.
Yeah.
All of us, are happy. All of us have a pretty good life, and there's no major events going on. And during this time of season, there's families going through really, really rough times.
Yeah.
And 2024, and there's been years where it's been challenging.
Yeah.
But this year it was just like, wow, okay, we're doing okay.
Yeah. And it's nice to get that deep breath once in a while, because it is tough. But I will say, not only do you appreciate it for you and your family, but you and and a lot of people know this, and if they don't, they should. You also go and by extension do it for other people. Between Veterans Village and Home Again St. John's, what you do for others is just so admirable. It really is. I'm proud to be your friend. I really am.
I mean, and thank you. What we were able to accomplish for Home Again, and that was a 10-year build, and it all came together this year, which is amazing. Being able to open Veterans Village, getting the grant, securing the grant for $3 million, and then I'm searching everywhere, working on it to try and find the right thing, and someone calls me about wanting me to sell their hotel for them.
Okay.
And that's how, it was just the timing of that. And the hotel he wanted to sell it for 3.1. Our grant was for $3 million, and we needed to make improvements. I was able to give up my commission for the sale on both sides and handle it through Coquina Coast Realty, and basically made it work for both sides with the money he saved by not having to pay any commissions. And it all fell into place, and we bought it, and 2 weeks later we had 19 veterans that were on the street. They were off the street, and that you can't write that any better. And it, I have an amazing board with Home Again. I have the best executive director. She is my work wife. Ellen Walden, just a great lady who just works super hard, kind of keeps me in line. I got family support. Blake and Rebecca and Maeve, everybody chips in to do that. So it's sometimes I get credit for things that other people do around me, and I appreciate that, but it's not. Sometimes I'm just the face of it, and it's not just me,
right.
And that's what I want to make sure everybody recognizes is there's an entire team. Right. That made this happen.
Right.
So, and Colonel Dudley, he's the one who secured the money.
Sure.
We did name the office space and the meeting space after Colonel Dudley, Lieutenant Colonel Dudley, just last week. So we'll have a ceremony for that also. So we're excited about that. So I got to give Veterans Village as being one of my peaks also, as far as my working career. Even with my group at Jalaram and our group, 3 Browns and 2 Whites is the name of our group, and we talk every single day. I have the 904 family. We talk every single day, it's just beautiful. I know there's people out there that are lonely, but just reach out. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I need a friend today.
Right.
Because the friends are out there. People are there for you if you say, hey, I need a friend today. And I've been very, very fortunate because I have lifetime friends just like you. You go and visit your friends from college and stuff like that.
Yep.
I have a baseball group called the Bulldogs that some of these guys I've been friends with since kindergarten.
Yeah.
And we talk at least once a week, sometimes 3 and 4 times a week. And there's 9 of us in that group.
Yep.
So
I know what you're saying, because just yesterday, caught back up with a text chain from my track buddies from high school. And believe it or not, yes, I ran track. I did it to stay in state for soccer,
ran
but
from track or
no. I ran on the track, indoor and outdoor, because I played soccer in the fall, and I had to do something. School wasn't that challenging, so I had to do something to take care of some time and stay in shape for soccer in the off season. So I ran track, and I'm still very, very close with some of those gentlemen, very much so. And we're planning another trip one of these days together.
Yeah. So and Blake and I had a great trip to Vegas, and our baseball trip.
Vegas.
Blake did go to Vegas.
I did too.
You didn't go to Vegas.
Okay.
You went to Spain. Maeve's arguing with me where she went. We went to you and I went to Legoland, and we went to Spain. Blake and I went to Vegas, and we went to New York and Washington,
Right.
D.C. Right. Great baseball trip. Those are another things that I really, really appreciate the family. When you're old enough, you will go to Vegas with us, baby.
I remember I went to Vegas.
Yeah, it was in a past life. We'll talk about that under hypnosis.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. Okay, I'm getting older, Blake.
I will say, but I'll pile on to the Vegas. I was there 3 times this past year, and I'm going back again in April. And had wonderful trips to Vegas, wonderful meals, but the Sphere experience was there. Just just going to the Sphere was just phenomenal. So, Dead and Company there for 3 nights, and the Eagles in this world-class venue that is one of the most technologically marvelous things you're ever going to experience. It's just it's otherworldly. It really is.
Yeah. No, and we've seen it from the outside, and we've awed from the outside. But I want to do that right moment. I'm not a big deadhead.
Right.
I could see being a deadhead and that being just phenomenal.
Going back in April for them.
So
yeah.
I'm trying to figure out in time when's a good time to go to the Sphere. And it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal from just the outside.
I mean, personally, for me, if there's a way, if somehow the Foo Fighters get residency at the Sphere, I definitely want to go.
That would be great. That would be great.
I'm rooting for a Hans Zimmer residency.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The Rolly.
Oh, that's the first call I make when he announces that. When he lets me know, he knows I'm ready for that one.
Yeah. All right. So as far as world events, what do you think was the biggest story in the world in 2024?
I got a bunch of them. You had the Olympics, went off very well, no problem there. Simone Biles cemented her reputation as probably one of the world's greatest athletes and one of the world's greatest Olympians. The Sean Combs thing, the P. Diddy revelations was just, who saw that coming? I guess there are people who did know about it, but the general public just said, what the hell was that? I think you have the Taylor Swift as a phenomenon unto herself for her $2 billion Eras tour and her romance with Travis Kelce. I think a lot of that's just out of control. I think Bitcoin making it to 100,000 and then dropping back down again is got a lot of people's juices flowing.
Yeah.
I think all of that stuff was kind of impressive.
Maeve has made me a Swiftie.
Good job.
Are we Swifties? You like Taylor? And like,
Because I wear my costume.
that's who she was for Halloween.
She I saw that picture. Yeah,
she had two different Taylor Swift outfits, one for school and one for
school,
and one for trick or treating.
The other one was not appropriate for school.
not appropriate for school. Well, that's good to know.
It was her sparkly bathing suit with tights, so it couldn't really wear it to school.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But that was a worldwide.
If I wear it to school, all the kids would like it.
They would have loved it. She said if she wore it to school, all the kids would like it. I'm not sure if they can hear you on the microphone, but I'm just trying to repeat it, Maeve.
Yeah.
But it was beautiful. You looked amazing. But our newest person we've discovered is Miley Cyrus, right?
Discovered her.
I want to hear next year.
Yeah.
Okay.
She wants to be Miley Cyrus next year.
Okay.
Yeah. So Used to Be Young is her new favorite song.
Maybe not 20. Maybe don't dress up as 2012 Miley Cyrus though.
Yeah.
I want to have that.
Well, you could go as Hannah Montana, and you could go as Hannah Montana, and then as Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
So you could do a school costume and a not school costume.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You could go Hannah Montana to school and Miley Cyrus
you could
not.
do Disney is Hannah Montana, and
I
we're not doing. You're not doing Wrecking Ball. Just making sure.
I'm just
We're clear
saying,
about that.
right?
I'm-
really wrecking ball.
no, we're not doing that outfit. No.
Miley may have as many tattoos as you.
Yeah.
Why?
So
Sir, why can't I do it?
we're not. I'm just.
Right.
I'm
You can ask.
saying.
You can ask Blake later.
It'll switch up very quickly when we get to October. All right,
Moving
some
on.
stories that popped up on because I asked them for comments
Sure.
and stuff like that. Trump being shot was a
Right.
huge story. Obviously, the election, the Florida Man games,
Mm-hmm.
the Hawk Tuah girl,
Still don't understand that.
how she got so famous so quick.
That's because that's what society is today.
Yeah.
And now popularity dropped like back down to zero because she did a bad crypto coin that defunded a lot of bad investors.
Oh wow.
Any worse than Dogecoin?
No, the Doge is doing well.
What's it
Somehow,
at 36 cents?
somehow Doge is much more. It's somehow much more better than Hawk Tuah coin.
I'm sure.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Who invested in that? That's ridiculous.
Someone,
I don't even know if that's true.
Someone apparently lost $20,000 over
All right,
it.
and that takes me to this next one, and I think this is one of the most ridiculous things that we're going to have to deal with in the future, and that's AI. So this year, I think AI has taken over a lot of different things,
Yeah.
and AI. You can just type in some things, and you can have an AI podcast with made-up voices and made-up facts that sound real.
Yes.
You know, and it just happened to Lieutenant Colonel Dudley.
Really?
Somebody did an AI podcast on him and made him tried to make him look bad about something with
rude.
local county commissioners. So you know, it's dangerous
Yeah.
and it's innovative, but those two
Yeah.
can kind of conflict every once in a while.
Yeah. Deepfakes aren't as deep
Yeah.
as they used to be, unfortunately, and the software and the apps are out there now that a lot of people who aren't even technologically adept are doing it, and that's dangerous.
Yeah, no, and there's there's so many things now with technology, and I have to go through, and we talked about it on the show.
Hey, Jeffy.
We had the VR
Right.
virtual reality thing for Ty that we have, and to me, it's incredible. To Maeve and Blake and Ty, they kind of grew up with this type of technology. I was the remote growing up. There was
Right,
no, there was
exactly.
no
Go
remote.
change the channel and make the volume.
I was the remote. I was the
Yeah.
antenna. These are things that we lived with. Blake's never. I think Blake was like 10 years old the first time he rolled up a window. With an actual crank. He didn't know what it was. I told him to put up the window. He was looking for the button. He was 10. And it was a crank.
Poor child led a sheltered life.
Yeah, so I mean, there's certain things, but it's the time frame of where we're at. Kathy says her peak of the year is Mike getting through prostate cancer and cancer free. Mike, love you, brother, and just proud of you for fighting through it and getting through that. Those are huge victories.
Yes.
And that's what this show is about. I want people to, we're going to talk about the pits, but I want them to celebrate their peaks. And I think a lot of people don't celebrate their peaks, and they get locked in on their pits, and they don't see. They get stuck in the pit, and they forget about the peak.
You got to find the joy.
Yeah, you got to, and know when you're at that pit, the peak's coming.
Absolutely.
It is definitely coming. All right, I'm going to do a quick run through of our sponsors:
Sure.
St. Augustine Distillery and Citygate Spirits. Amazing staff. Great products. Get over there, go see them, take the tour. Meehan's Irish Pub. If you're a local, you might want to wait until a week from now.
Or
because
two.
They are slammed
Oh,
right
yeah.
now. Abare, Kresge and Associates, you want to call them now. It's time to start doing your taxes and putting them together. St. Augustine Pirate Museum. Never a bad time to go see them. Set off those cannons.
Who's real pirate?
There's real pirates there.
That's right.
You know, and there's over 800 original artifacts in there. So go check them out at St. Augustine Pirate Museum. Kaiser's Deli and Market. Don't sleep on these guys. These guys put together the best sandwiches in town. Over on White Street,
Yep.
right next to Gypsy Cab Company.
Yep.
You know, so if you haven't been, get your butt over there. And Coquina Coast Realty, if you're looking to invest, someone said something about New Year's resolutions and saving money. If you're saving money, you're losing money. You need to think about how you're going to invest your money and how your money's going to work for you. So that's my little bit of walking man consulting advice.
Yep. A lot of optimism on that for next year.
Saving money, have enough to get you through 4 to 5 months of expenses, but saving money is losing money if you're not putting it in the right place. So, all right, let's do this. Let's try and get the negative, then go back to the peaks again.
Okay.
All right. Pits.
I got 2 of them.
Pits for 24.
Well, you know, Joker the musical. Do I need to say anything more about that? Okay. And the P. Diddy nonsense is just, if it wasn't so horrific, it would be hilarious. You know, there's going to be a lot of used baby oil for sale all over the place. So that's a little bit frightening as well. That's just, you know, how that went on.
Used.
Yeah, right, exactly. How that went on for
If you're on
as long as
eBay,
it
don't
did.
buy baby oil.
No. It's just, and again, it just shows that there's, you know, people who think they're above the law, and when the law catches up to them, they're shocked that me, you know. So, you know, if he did all that stuff, it's a good thing he's in the Brooklyn Correctional Facility.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
You know?
100%. That's where he needs to be. That's where he needs to be. Did you have any pits personally that you want to talk about that you got past?
We're working through some stuff at home. We had a couple of health scares, and we're kicking ass on that stuff. So we're doing good there. And other than that, the year's been pretty good. You know.
Yeah. So we had a scare too, and my girl's in with us, and she's doing great. Yes, baby.
We do our pits and peaks.
Come, you can come over here with me if you want, baby.
Hey, here. Speaking about
Babe, come
the
over
pit.
Just watch the wires.
I know. I'm trying my best. Another trip up on myself. I know.
Not you. I
We were
trip on the
talking about
wires.
Maeve there,
Yeah.
Blake can't see in the studio with her walking around. So Blake, go ahead with your story.
All right. So, are you about to show off, Maeve? Maeve, are you about to show off the nice little cut the doctors made on you?
No. So but
No showing scars.
we had a little scare, and this is a little champ right here.
Yep.
And she got through it. So that pit became a peak.
Right.
And now we have a healthy girl. So right. Yep. All right. So what's your pit and peak for this year?
Christmas and
What about your birthday?
my birthday.
What kind of party did you have for your birthday?
Pirate.
A pirate party.
Ah.
So yeah, we love the pirate music.
There you go.
We kept hitting Troy with swords.
Yeah, they kept attacking me all because I don't like
Whoa.
kids. Kids are smelly and yucky,
Yeah.
and I don't like kids. And then guess what happened? All the kids attacked me, didn't they?
Even Bridget's little sister.
Even
Bridget's little sister. Did you make him walk the plank?
Yeah, no.
I was the one who was really in charge of all the other pirates.
Yeah, she was.
So you were the captain.
She was a captain of the pirates. So we had Captain Maeve, and we did it at the golf course, Anastasia mini golf,
Oh, okay.
and we had a fun party, didn't we? So I put that as one of our
Lily
peaks.
wasn't.
And that's a pirate theme.
Lily wasn't.
Yeah,
with me.
Bridget's little sister was, she's 2, and the big girls, she was with them all the time, and it was a little challenging.
And she
Okay.
was ruining my scores.
She was ruining your scores.
Yeah, we were playing golf, and she kept grabbing Maeve's ball, which is, that's rough to deal with. So, but what do you think
And she kept walking.
Yeah. Did you enjoy Legoland or did you enjoy Spain the most? Which one?
Legoland, because Spain was a little weird.
Spain was a little weird.
They
Okay.
did speak funny.
Well, yeah, that's true.
They did speak funny.
So I'm gonna.
It's that
give
Castilian accent.
Legoland.
She's going to give Legoland. And where do we play the most at Legoland, do you think?
With Legos.
With Legos. You played, and you made a lot of friends there? Yeah. And what about the lazy river? Yeah, we played
I
there.
swam great there.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I want to go there again.
We will go back there. Because now I've said it on air, I'm locked in.
Right, exactly. We've got witnesses.
I want to go there a million times.
A million
That's
times.
a lot of times.
A million times.
That's a lot of times, you know.
Yep. So, all right. Any? Do you have any pits? What was the worst thing that happened in 2024?
I have no idea what you're about.
Well, see, I love the fact that you don't have anything negative, so that makes me really, really happy.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
So yeah, well, what was your pit?
Ugh.
Ugh.
Why do you call it that instead of pit and peak?
I know, because we call it pit and peak, and I said it was what was the worst. So that's entirely my fault that messed that up. So what was your pit?
Is that a bad day or a good day?
Bad. What was the worst day or the bad day you had? Do you have any bad days?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the bad day?
Mom yelling at me.
Well, sometimes that happens when you're trying to get out of the house and you are very playful and we got to get going. And sometimes that just happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to put you back over on the parlor. Is that okay?
No.
Are you going to stay with me the whole time? Okay. She's going to stay on air with me the whole time.
Fair enough.
All right. So
What about you, sir?
one of the stories, as far as my pit, like I said, when she got sick, we got very nervous, and Wolfson's did an amazing job, and we were, it ended up not being, but it was a scare,
Right.
so it was something that could be very,
Thyroglossosis.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jamie.
yeah. You're, what is it called?
Thyroglossosis.
Thyroid glossal cyst.
That's easy for you to say.
Pronounce it.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Thyroglossosis.
There you go. What she said. What she said.
She's got it. She does it, and that's the better part.
So that was one of those moments where like, oh gosh. And we have those. We have those, but that's part of being a parent. And
We have those when we grow up.
yeah, when you grow up, they get even bigger sometimes. But for all those people that suffered through health issues like you were talking about and recovered from them, like Kathy was talking about, just you seem to squeeze a little harder on your hugs.
Yeah.
And you remind yourself to, say love you, because you don't know. Tomorrow's not guaranteed.
You cherish what's important,
Yeah.
and you realize what's important. It's a shame that we have to be reminded in that fashion, but yes, yeah.
So, Blake, what was your pit for 24?
I'll definitely say my pick for 2024 is being prescribed a low sartan for your high blood pressure. That's like trying your best, but understanding your laziness is the reason why you were prescribed that thing. Is just an awful feeling.
Well, stick with the Utz. They have the lowest sodium of any major brand of chips out there.
The Utz?
Yeah.
That's what I was worried.
Right. Well, that one I won't go for the ones that are pink and red and have other things, but they're straight chips, and their straight Ripple chips have like 4% sodium, and the next closest one is like 6 or 8. So,
All right.
plus they're good chips.
All right. What would you consider an uplifting story that happened in 2024?
Well, we can't do Benefer because they're done. They got back together and unback together again. Let's see. Joker the Musical, that doesn't really count. Jennifer and Ben got together, got untogether, got together, got untogether, and they got re-divorced after they got remarried. Deion Sanders, I'm big on him. I think the world jumped ugly on poor Rachel Gunn, the Australian breakdancer in the Olympics.
Okay.
Woman's got a PhD.
Yeah.
She wasn't doing it as a goof because at one point in time she was ranked number one by the World Dance Federation, but it was because everybody had been ranked above her, had timed out of the rankings, and she just moved up by default. But people jumped ugly on her, and that was a shame. It really was. She was savaged. Did
you see the performance?
Yeah, it was horrible.
It was awful.
Yeah.
I seriously think I'm a better breakdancer than her.
So, hey, look, she did it. She's an Olympian.
Yeah,
Can't take that away from her.
She's got that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's
Can't
got
take that away from her.
But I have a torch.
You know what? I think what was very interesting, and I looked this up too, is the Northern Lights, which used to be in the north,
Yeah.
have snuck their way down to Florida, to Texas. They're everywhere
I
now.
went to Iceland last year just because it's one of the 7 natural wonders of the world that I wanted to see. And then in this year,
They're
they were in
delivering.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
I was like, I could have just went to Tennessee.
Could visit your folks.
You want to go to Tennessee? We'll go to Tennessee.
That's and I haven't seen them yet. And I'm really intrigued by them. Would like to see them. But apparently the solar storms and the solar activity this year have been so strong. Think northern Florida, Texas, places that you would never expect to see the Northern Lights.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yep.
That is wild. But I'm sorry, Blake. Did you give your pit?
Yeah. The beeping cream scrabble little starting for my high blood pressure.
That's right. I'm sorry. That's right.
You only raise my high. You don't raise my blood pressure again. Just
No. But
Just bringing it up.
The thing is the diagnosis that you're given and stuff like that. You got it back just like you. You're doing the right thing. So that's the that negative becomes a peak by getting to the right spot.
Talking about me.
Oh, we're not talking about you. Okay, should we be talking about you?
Shame on us.
Okay.
I'll give you another peek.
Yes, please.
Juan Soto signing with the New York Mets.
Oh God,
Baby, he is going to be one wealthy human being.
yeah. When we did get to see him play this year,
Yeah.
so I mean, there's superstars that I'm a baseball guy and a lover of baseball, and one of the things I always want to see is I want to see Hall of Famers. Speaking of one of our pits. We lost a friend this year who should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
I saw Dan and Courtney last night.
Yep.
Louis Tiant just passed away last month, and
right.
I was hoping. Actually, it was 2 months ago, I believe. But I was hoping in this voting where Dave Parker got in, he would get it. I think Dick Allen and Dave Parker got in, but he made like the final 8.
Why the Veterans Committee hasn't acknowledged him is beyond me. He is so deserving of it. But also, we lost Willie Mays, Ricky Henderson. I mean, the baseball.
Recently.
The baby bull, Tony Oliva.
Yeah.
There's a lot of baseball players that from my childhood.
Tony and Louis were very close.
Yes, absolutely.
The black doesn't work.
This one doesn't work. All right.
And Orlando Cepeda.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Also, Orlando Cepeda.
One more.
No,
I hope
it's
we're
okay. You can use that.
I hope Tony Oliva is dead because otherwise I just killed him off. But it was Orlando
Can you
Cepeda.
hand me the red? Because we don't want you walking in front of the camera there, baby. Here you go. You can use this one.
Thank you.
Tony Oliva. I mean,
Orlando Cepeda. Was it Tony Oliva?
I think it was Orlando Cepeda.
It was Orlando Cepeda. Yeah, I don't want to predecease poor Tony Oliva.
Actually, his name's not Tony. He used his brother's visa, and he became Tony Oliva. And a lot of people don't know this. I think his actual name is like Pedro or something like that.
Okay.
Blake, can you look that up?
It is Antonio Olivia Lopez Hernandez Havik.
All right, but
Antonio.
Yeah, but it was his brother's
permits,
visa, and he became that to get here.
It was Cepeda that died. Tony Oliva's still alive.
Right. Yeah, it was Orlando Cepeda, the baby bull. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So who do you consider as the greatest living baseball player right now?
Greatest living
lost
baseball
Aaron,
player.
too.
Yeah. Great of baseball history, not currently playing.
No, that's alive right now. It could be a current player. You can use a current player as if you want to use the greatest, because I think if you said the same thing in basketball, some people would say LeBron.
Yeah.
And I think LeBron's probably the greatest athlete to ever play basketball.
Fascinating what those men can do.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. When you see, and I saw LeBron play live, and I saw Michael play live, and I can tell you this: athlete to athlete, LeBron is a better athlete. Competitor, I think Jordan is a better competitor. But when you talk about greatest of all time, how do you not say Bill Russell?
Right.
You know, and I apologize for any of those people out there that I offended, but Bill Russell, it's about winning, and you can't tell me anybody except for Yogi Berra
Right. One more.
that won more.
You know, it's difficult because we do this so easily. We put athletes in a pile, and there's got to be at some point in time consideration for the era in which they played, whether it's the live ball or the dead ball, you know, the rims, the three-point line. Games change, games evolve, and in that evolution, the ability to perform is changed or curtailed to a degree. So it's tough to follow who can, you know, to do comparatives based on time frames is kind of tough.
Yeah. No, it really is, and because it's here over. Oh, you're gonna sit on my lap. Okay. Yeah, it really is hard to do those comparisons because, you know, you can't compare Fran Tarkenton to Tom Brady.
Right.
You just can't. You can't make that comparison because it's the rules are different.
Yeah.
And Wilt Chamberlain actually said to Michael Jordan they were having an argument over who was the best, and Wilt Chamberlain's argument was, they changed the rules to hurt me. They changed the rules to help you.
Correct.
Which was, that statement's 100% true.
Yeah.
You know, because they didn't allow dunking at one point because Wilt Chamberlain dunked on everybody. You know, and so they changed the rules to hurt Wilt Chamberlain. And they made it softer. Let's see, write your name for me. Okay. They changed the rules to make Michael Jordan more exciting to watch.
You know, I was cooking for a private bank in Lower Manhattan on Wall Street in, I want to say it was '84, which was the year that Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon came into the NBA. And the company I worked for had seats at Madison Square Garden.
Okay, did it.
And I was able to see the first game Michael Jordan played at Madison Square Garden and Hakeem Olajuwon. And that was just wonderful to see these kids. And they were kids then. They were just coming out. They were in their, you know, in their early 20s.
Yeah.
But what phenomenal athletes to see that.
All right. Maeve, I asked Maeve to write her name, and you wrote it backwards.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, look, M-A-E. It starts here and goes that way.
Oh.
Did you do that on purpose?
What are you writing in Hebrew?
Did you do that on purpose? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Let's see if you can write it right. All right. But you know, as far as this year, was there any sporting event that really stood out to you?
Well, the Mets' comebacks, you know, was pretty great. There was those, you know, Alonso late season home runs that kept them going. For me, as a Met fan, that was really kind of special.
High five.
Otherwise, Jaguars have been horribly disappointing this season. But I just enjoyed baseball in general. I don't know that there was anything significant in sports for me, other than the Mets getting so close to the World Series.
Who won the World Series?
Oh, the freaking Los Angeles Dodgers. They bought another one.
They bought another one.
I shouldn't say that
I
because
can tell you-
with the way the Mets are spending money.
I hated the Dodgers growing up. As a Reds fan, they were in the same division, and I hated the Dodgers. But the Dodgers right now could have one of the more likable teams as far as individuals that play for that team. Freddie Freeman.
Oh, my goodness.
Great guy.
Absolutely.
Great guy.
You got Mookie out in right field.
Mookie, great guy.
Yep.
Shohei, he's got some gambling stuff going on, but
But it wasn't him.
he seems to be doing everything else right.
Yep.
That team has some really likable players on it. In the 70s, you know, they had Garvey
Right.
and Say and Russell, but, you know, they were easy to hate.
Hey, we also lost Fernando Valenzuela this year, too.
that's true.
And he was one of my favorite pitchers forever. You know, on that same thing, as a Mets fan, not a big Yankee fan at all.
Yeah.
But they are less onerous than they have been in years.
Yeah.
There's players that I can admire. It's just, there used to be a point in time where you just disliked the Yankees.
Well, you gotta like
they're so
you
damn
gotta
good.
like Soto. I mean, and he's coming to your team now.
I like him a lot now.
You gotta like Soto. Soto to me is a guy who's going to have longevity. The way he plays the game, he's going to have some longevity in it. And you gotta. I mean, Judge is
He's just a phenomenon.
He's ridiculous. The size he is and what he's able to do on a baseball field is impressive.
Yep.
And I think he's gotten better playing center field.
Yeah.
It seems to be he's more focused in some of the things that he's doing.
Yep.
So in that regard, Blake, who would you give sports person or team of the year?
Sports person of the year. For person of the year, I'll probably say Caitlin Clark
There you go.
for how
Absolutely.
for how well she
Absolutely.
has she has
I have her
impacted
down there. Yeah.
for how well she has impacted women's basketball
Yep.
in general, both in college and in the WNBA.
Mm-hmm.
Team of the year, though, I will say I'll probably say the U.S. men's basketball team at the Olympics this year for just like how
Very, very entertaining.
they were, like LeBron, Steph, Kevin Durant.
Superstars stepped up,
Right.
and they proved that they were superstars.
Right.
And Blake, both of those I think are spot on for me. Caitlin Clark,
Yeah.
she reshaped the WNBA.
Yep.
She took a lot of crap from a lot of her peers, and to me, she left it with it was all about teams. She never got engaged in it, and I don't know who her people were that were handling it, but if she did that on her own, that's very, very impressive.
I definitely do think like Caitlin Clark's going to be like the magic and bird
the savior of the WNBA.
Yeah, like to basically move the WNBA for just like just women's basketball to more of like what you see in the NBA where it's more superstars.
Right.
You see the superstars more when you see like it's the Boston Celtics. You see the Indiana Fever.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see more individual spotlights on that.
And Melissa went to the also the other one you said was
The Olympics, for sure.
Simone Biles.
Yep. Absolutely.
Unfortunately, the Olympics have lost their flavor a little bit. I think Biles and the men's basketball team brought it back a little bit.
Right.
But
And some of the swimmers too.
Still lost
I
its
have
flavor.
marker on me.
You have marker on you? No, but I do because you put it on me. You don't have marker on you. All right. We're kind of coming down to the end.
A couple more minutes, but yeah.
Resolutions for 2025, and I know. Stop, baby. I know we don't usually do resolutions, but what's something you would like to see happen in 2025?
Personally or globally?
Both. I want one of each.
I'd like there to be a little bit more peace on Earth because there's wars everywhere.
Yeah, because we didn't even talk about Ukraine and Russia.
Yeah.
And to me, that was probably the biggest story worldwide.
But it's been going on for 2.5, 3 years.
Yep.
So, it's never ending. And I think that we're desensitized to so much of it. I mean, there's conflicts all over Africa. And, we as Americans don't pay attention, and I hate to be callous and say a lot of people don't care, couldn't even find it on a map, which is embarrassing.
What was it that Stalin said? 1 or 2 deaths is a tragedy, a million's a statistic.
Yep.
And I think because the Ukraine and Russia have been going on for so long, we now are desensitized to it, and it's now a statistic.
Yeah, we were talking about that a couple of weeks ago on the evening show with Mike and Amanda, and I think the repercussions, even if peace is declared, and Russia gets some of their territory, they let Ukraine survive as a country, please. I think the devastation is going to be impactful for years and years because the agricultural production has been devastated and lost between the wheat, the sunflower oil, the things that have grown there and have supported the world's breadbasket for years. Ukraine was, that was where wheat came from, outside of Middle America.
Yeah.
And, I don't think people realize that. And I think that's horrific. I really do. And I think we are really desensitized to loss of life and to warlords, and it's not good.
Yeah, and we're at the end of our time, and I want to say thank you. You've been on Bollox now a year and a half, right?
Yep.
And Blake, thank you. And maybe this is your first episode on Bollox.
Yay.
Can you say, look at that camera right in the middle and say Happy New Year?
Happy New Year.
All right.
Thank you.
Love you guys. Please share. Stick around with Bollox and Talks and Tangents. And check us out on YouTube.
And we'll see you next week and next year. Next week, next year.
Next week.
Right, both.
All right. Bye-bye.